Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. This is my week 15 of the Premier League Darts through. My week 16, obviously my week 16 preview as well. But in week 15, we did head to the First Direct Arena in Leeds, the home of Luke Humphries, you could say. Obviously, Luke Humphries being the man from Leeds. So yes, let's straight into it. We did see Darren Price return from his back injury, to take on Mike Van Doren, who had all the pressure on him in terms of the race of the playoffs. There was a lot of pressure being put on Mike Van Doren with Michael Smith chasing Van Doren down, who was in that final playoff position coming into this night. And he picked up a massive win, Mike Van Doren, over Darren Price, where he was 3-1 down, to be fair. He was 3-1 down to Darren Price. Darren Price is one of them players. Yes, he does play well, doesn't he? He has played well. He's just not took his chances. He's not been finishing his chances off. If he would have finished his chances off, Darren Price would no doubt still be in the race for the playoffs, in my opinion. And Mike Van Doren took his chances, of course, and for me, a well-deserved winner in the end. And I did say he only just needs to win the game, Mike Van Doren. If he wins the game, I said it was massive for him, because it would put the pressure on Aspinall, because he did move above Nathan Aspinall, and it would put him under pressure against Michael Smith in that playoff decider, which ironically it's done with the playoff decider next week, because they do play each other then, Aspinall and Smith. So up next then we saw Yukieta, but we did see Yukieta defeats Peter White 6-1. Complete contrast, isn't it, in terms of the table between these two. Yukieta won away with the lead phase, isn't he? At the top on his debut as well. On the press of a wave, Yukieta, and the man everyone's talking about at the moment. Comfortable 6-1 victory over Peter White, and I think this Premier League will be the last time we will see Peter White in the Premier League, unless he does turn it around for the rest of the year. Up next, then we saw Luke Humphries, who was well on form, wasn't he? He was well on it against Rob Cross with a 6-1 win over Rob Cross, which officially ended Rob Cross' slim hopes of getting the playoffs. But we all knew Rob Cross wasn't going to get in anyways. We all knew that, but that officially confirmed it. That did officially confirm it. With a 6-1 victory for Luke Humphries. It was when Luke Humphries plays like that, he's just unplayable. It's just unplayable. I looked at it. When you look at all the players who are on it, when players are on it, Humphries and Van Doren, you don't get any better than that. Done it one when Yukieta's on it, it's incredible when he's on it, but you still think Humphries and Van Doren, if they're on it, they do still beat Yukieta, in my opinion. If they're on it, even if they play the same, you would fancy Humphries and Van Doren to beat Yukieta if Yukieta is on it, of course. I think this was probably the first week we saw Yukieta not really on it, was he? He was not really on it, and it was going to happen. It was going to happen with Yukieta, let's be real, but we'll get on to that. But a 6-1 victory for Humphries, who already qualified, of course, but Luke Humphries, he's another one. He's trying to turn that momentum on now, to take into the playoffs. And we saw Nathan Aspinall against Michael Smith, two of the playoff contenders up against each other. Aspinall came into the game, dropping down to fourth after Van Duren's win. And obviously, Aspinall versus Smith is going to be the decider next week in the final week of the league phase to decide who will get in the playoffs. 1 point separates both of them. Aspinall is the one who's under pressure, especially after Michael Smith did beat him last night 6-3, which proved to be, for me, a massive win for Michael Smith. It was a must. Obviously, Michael Smith did need to win, because if Aspinall would have won, then yeah, the playoffs would have been sorted. Yesterday would have been sorted. But massive win. It was a must-needed win for Michael Smith, and now it puts the pressure on Nathan Aspinall in that final league phase. They will play each other then, and all of a sudden Michael Smith will think to himself, you know what, I've beaten him once, I've got his number now, I have got his number. And Nathan Aspinall, unfortunately for Aspinall, he'll be thinking to himself, is it going to be like last year once again? Is it going to be like last year where in the final week he did lose out, he did drop out of the playoff cases? And I remember Johnny Curtin obviously nicked the place and they snapped the final playoff case. So is it going to be the same again for Nathan Aspinall, where he's had all them weeks being the playoffs and he drops out the playoffs in the final week? Obviously, he is my favourite player. Aspinall is my favourite player, so I hope not. But I am obviously still neutral to that. I'm still neutral, and if you ask me right now, I do think Smith has the advances now of even potentially going above Aspinall. Going above Aspinall to snatch that final playoff place, in my opinion. So yeah, 6-3 win for Michael Smith. Aspinall again. Aspinall, for me, gave Smith the opportunities. For me, he gave Smith the opportunities. Is the pressure now starting to be on Nathan Aspinall now? Can he not cope with the pressure? It does begin to look that way. And but the semi-final results, we saw Mike Van Duren do a demolition job on Nuclear, which probably was a bit of a shock that in terms of storyline. But Nuclear just didn't turn up in terms of semi-finals. Just didn't turn up. Van Duren didn't turn up with his best game either, but it was enough to do a demolition job on Nuclear, which was probably expected. Nuclear was not going to keep winning. He was not going to keep winning in these past weeks. There was going to be a game where Nuclear just didn't turn up in one game, and that proved to be the case. And Mike Van Duren back-to-back wins, and obviously that win from Mike Van Duren did qualify him. It did qualify him for the playoffs, that win. Then when the pressure was on Van Duren, that's what he does. That's what he does. He knows how to deal with the pressure on him. And now he busts his place into the playoffs alongside Nuclear and Luke Humphries. And when it's the playoffs, I will keep on saying it, when it's the playoffs, Mike Van Duren, you can't bet against him when it's in the actual playoffs as well. And the other semi-final was again another demolition. Luke Humphries did a demolition job on Michael Smith to win 6-1. Very disappointing for Michael Smith, because Michael Smith would have took the advantage. You would have think Michael Smith would want to try and have that advantage, try and move above Aspinall down into the final week. But again, is that a bad thing? Getting beat for Michael Smith, because Michael Smith will think to himself, well, all the pressure is done beyond the player that holds that final playoff spot. So Nathan Aspinall, for me, is done be the more under pressure. And Michael Smith will go into that game with no pressure on him. Obviously, he needs to win, Michael Smith, to try and make the playoffs. But Aspinall is done be the one under pressure. the one under pressure for me, because it's basically winners take all. The winner qualifies for the playoffs, simple as that. And of course, in the final, we saw Mike Van Der and then Stu Humphries. By the way, if you don't know, if you noticed from our Week 15 preview, I predicted all the games spot on, apart from the final. In terms of, I predicted who will get to the final in Week 15. Predicted the semi-finals, right? I predicted Van Der to beat Yetter and Humphries to beat Smith. I did predict that to happen. But in the final, I did predict Van Duren to beat Humphries and try and get revenge, because Humphries won in Van Duren's backyard in Rotterdam. And I thought, well, I've been Van Duren. I thought to myself, Van Duren will want to try and get revenge and use Humphries' backyard and beat him himself. The Asset decider. Humphries wins the Asset decider 6-5. Van Duren had his chance to win it 6-5, and Humphries punished him to win 6-5. And Luke Humphries, that's his, I think it tells you here, in terms of the league table, that's Luke Humphries' fourth night win in the world. But this is how the league table looks after night 15, heading in to the final league phase. UK is already qualified, Humphries already qualified, Van Duren's already qualified. That's the top three. Luke Humphries will play Mike Van Duren. In the playoffs, by the looks of it. Because UK only needs one more win, which is then Peter White. He plays Peter White again on the final week, and Humphrey and Yetter will beat Peter White, which means Humphries will play Van Duren, you would think. On yet, one of Arsenal and Smith still goes on to have a one in the final week. The winner of Arsenal and Smith will obviously qualify for the playoffs, and so it's not down to yet on who will play who in the playoffs. But three of the four players we all know will qualify, and it's down to that Arsenal versus Smith game on the final week. Arsenal, the one under pressure, while Waldcroft, Stone, Price, Peter White already eliminated, and they can just now play for pride and focus on their next tournament, try and put performance in the next tournament for all three of them. So let's get straight into it then. The final week then, UK against Peter White, Arsenal against Smith, Humphries against Price, and Van Duren against Watts. Three of the games are probably certainties on who you will predict to win, while the final one is the one to be decided between Arsenal and Smith on who will get into the playoffs. Starting off then with UK against Peter White, I don't think it'd be any different to what we saw last night. I think it'd be exactly the same again between UK and Peter White. Armed and door for a 6-1 win for UK against Peter White. I am going to leave the playoff decider, the last playoff spot decider, to last between Arsenal and Smith. So we will move on to Humphries versus Duren Price. And then Duren Price, I think he'll give Humphries a game early on, but I think Humphries will just be too good in the end for Duren Price, and Adam Dorr for a 6-3 win for Luke Humphries and Duren Price. Up next, Mike Van Duren against Rob Watts. Mike Van Duren, a bit like Luke Humphries, they will all want to try and get momentum, put momentum into the playoffs. And Rob Watts can be a bit of a dangerous game, bit of a tricky game for Van Duren, because Price and Watts, even though they've got nothing to play for now, both of them, they can still defeat a game. But I am going for Mike Van Duren to win 6-3 against Rob Watts. And now, on to the big one then. The playoff decider, who gets in the playoffs and who misses out. Fourth against fifth, Arsenal in fourth, then Michael Smith in fifth, 1 point separates them. The winner is winner takes all. The winner gets in the playoffs. the winner that's in the playoff case. It's not just about that though. For the winner of Arsenal and Smith, whoever wins between them, if they can do it on the one in the final week and try and win the final night, all of a sudden they'll have momentum to take into the playoffs after winning their previous night. But as I said earlier, I think Arsenal's under pressure, and I haven't seen Arsenal deal with pressure well. I really haven't. Last night when these two faced each other, it was a pressure moment for both players. It was a pressure moment for both players. If Arsenal would have won, then we wouldn't have a playoff decider. Then we would have thought to ourselves, we know the 4 players. But Michael Smith winning last night, it puts huge pressure on Arsenal. I mean, not shit, Sherlock. Not shit. I've not seen a game where Arsenal talks to pressure well. Of course, we know say the World Match Play final. He did a job on Johnny Kearton in the World Match Play final when he won the World Match Play. But this is a pressure game. With what's at stake. The winner destined the playoffs. Simple as that. Going into the game, Michael Smith will have the momentum going into the game after beating them last night. Because that defeat for Arsenal will feel like a bit of a stab. And it's a Chelsea game. It's an absolute Chelsea game. I don't want to call it though. But I do have to make a prediction. I feel it's going to be heartbreaking then. For Arsenal like last year. I think he's going to miss out, unfortunately. I think it's done all the way to a last year decider. I think we're going to see last year trauma, in my opinion. And I think Michael Smith picks up a 6-5 win over Nathan Arsenal. And that would be heartbreaking. It would be heartbreaking for either player to use on a last year decider. Because if you use, let's say one of these players use 6-2, 6-3, 6-1, something like that, then you can say, you know what, it's not that heartbreaking really, but to use in the last year decider, that would be heartbreaking. But I can see it happening. It's going to be a battle of a day between Arsenal and Smith. And I'm going to go for a 6-5 win for Michael Smith against Arsenal, and Michael Smith just snaps that final playoff place, in my opinion, out of Arsenal's hands. Now on to the semi-finals then. I've done for Luke against Michael Smith and Luke Humphries against Mike Van Duren. The first semi-final then, I have done for Luke to pick up a 6-2 win over Michael Smith, who I do think will snatch that final playoff spot. And basically, these semi-finals I have picked out are basically going to be an audition. For the playoffs. Because I think we'll end up playing Smith. We'll end up playing Smith in the playoffs. And Humphries will end up playing Van Der in the playoffs. I do think that's how I think who plays who in terms of the playoffs. And I'm going to go for you to defeat Michael Smith 6-2. In my opinion, because Michael Smith will put all of his energy, put all of his game into that playoff decider against Nathan Arsenal, in my opinion. And I think you will see that drop off in the semi-final against Yetler, in my opinion. But who knows? I might be wrong. But onto the other semi-final, Humphries against Mike Van Duren. I'm done for Humphries to get the win over Van Duren, but I wouldn't be shocked if Van Duren gets the win when they do play each other in the playoffs, because this is so much Van Duren for you. And I just want to shock if Van Duren wins the final night, to be fair, to take that momentum into the playoffs tonight. But I have done for a 6-4 win for Luke Humphries against Mike Van Duren. It'll be interesting though, if that is the semi-final in the playoffs, Humphries versus Van Duren. I think Van Duren would prefer to play Humphries in the semi-finals. I think he would prefer that. I don't think Van Duren would be bothered who he faces. Van Duren knows, I know how to win. I know how to win on playoff night. And if he doesn't play well, he knows how to win, Van Duren. I do believe the only player that can stop Van Duren winning the playoffs is Luke Humphries. And I remember during the start of this Premier League campaign, when I was doing my predictions for the whole tournament, I did predict Humphries to beat Van Duren in the playoff final, and Humphries to win the Premier League. And I'm still on stand by that. I think Humphries is the only man to stop Van Duren winning the playoffs. And people be like, "You're writing off. Why are you writing off Uketa?" I'm not writing off Uketa. Uketa will go into it with the most momentum and being the man who won the league phase. And Uketa doesn't deal with pressure, does he? The way when there's pressure on Uketa, he deals with it well. But for me, I just have to draw on the past and who's done it. Who's done it when it really matters. And for me, it's not a criticism of Uketa. He's not really done it when it matters, Uketa. The World Final, he got beat of Luke Humphries. Luke Humphries won't care about the past meetings he's had with Uketa. All Luke Humphries will say, "I beat you when it mattered," and that was the World Final. So Uketa still needs to answer the question, doesn't he? Can he do it when it really matters, Uketa? Don't get me wrong, it does really matter. It does matter when it's qualifying for the playoffs. So he's passed that test, Uketa. He still needs to pass another test for me and do it on the actual night for me, Uketa. Uketa will have the Dame though. I think he'll have an. No, don't get me wrong. I don't think Michael Smith is a nice Dame to have in the same final. Michael Smith can definitely beat Uketa if that was the playoff semi-final. But you would fancy Uketa to beat Smith because you don't know what Michael Smith is on there. Michael Smith can turn up for the first game, like we saw in this format. But in terms of the semi-final, it just doesn't turn up. Michael Smith for the semi-final. But my final for the final week, for the final league phase, is Uketa against Luke Humphries. Yes, they're going to meet again. I reckon they will meet again in Sheffield. Uketa, the Manchester United fan. Luke Humphries is from Yorkshire as well. And Yorkshire don't really like Manchester United, do they? And I am done door for Uketa. I am done for Uketa to win the final night, though. Just because of the past meetings so far in the league phase, I am done for Uketa to win yet again against Luke Humphries in the final and take some sort of momentum into the playoffs and take that momentum into the playoffs of finishing the top and winning his fifth, I think it'll be his fifth night. Let me check. Yeah, it'll be Uketa's fifth night win of the war, fifth night win of the Premier League darts. And I'm on for Uketa to beat Luke Humphries 6-4. So that is my week 15 preview and my final league phase preview for week 16. So who will qualify? Who will win that? It's all about the playoff decider. Who will win that playoff decider between Nathan Aspinall and Michael Smith? And who's going to take the momentum down into finals week, down into the playoff week, out of Humphries and Van Duren, and one of Van Duren and one of Aspinall and Smith. So feel free to leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Take care, stay safe.